Hello, and thank you for joining us and tuning in for the 2021 Senior Information Evening Presentation. My name is Mr. Brad Hutchinson. I'm the principal here at Mirboo North Secondary College, and on behalf of our whole community, I'd really like to thank you for taking the time to invest in either your own, if you are a current or prospective student, or if you are a current or prospective parent or carer, your child's educational pathways. It's certainly really important that you make sure that there's some good conversation happening within your household regarding the pathways in which it is that your son or daughter or yourself are going to be taking here at Mirboo North Secondary College moving forward. I'd like to thank the senior school staff who've taken the time to prepare this information for you. Obviously, we would have loved to have all been in the room together and have had that opportunity, but with the COVID restrictions in place, we feel that it's really important that you do understand and have the time to be able to digest the information about the pathways, the opportunities and the programs that we do have here on offer. So like I said, the conversations moving forward are really, really important. We're here to support you as a student or a prospective student, and certainly you as parents and carers. We're really looking forward to working with you moving forward. So you'll hear a little bit later on in the presentation of the opportunity for a live Q&A that we have upcoming. If you're unable to make that, or you are viewing this presentation after the Q&A session's taken place, please do not hesitate to contact the college, and we will certainly look to support you in that decision-making process. Once again, thank you for your time. I really look forward to meeting each and every one of you and working with you along with the rest of the team here at Mirboo North Secondary College. Take care, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
At Mirboo North Secondary College, we try very hard to tailor a senior school program for each individual student. In 2021, we will be offering the Victorian Certificate of Education, VCE, VCE including Vocational Education and Training, VET, Victorian Certificate of Applied Learning, VCAL, and the Headstart Apprenticeship Program. What does the VCE look like at our college? Each VCE unit is allocated 5 periods per week. Year 11s choose 6 subjects, whereas Year 12s choose 5 subjects. Students that attempt a straight VCE will complete 12 units in Year 11 and 10 units in Year 12. Please be aware that Units 1 and 2 are completed in Year 11, whilst Units 3 and 4 are completed in Year 12. To obtain your VCE, you must complete VCAA requirements. VCAA is the abbreviation for the Victorian Curriculum and Assessment Authority. Students must satisfactorily complete 16 VCE units over a minimum of 2 years. However, 3 of these 16 units must be English, including a Unit 3 and 4 sequence, and 3 sequences of Unit 3 and 4 of subjects other than English must also be included. Whether a student satisfactorily completes a unit remains a school-based decision. Each unit of a subject is divided into outcomes. A student must pass each outcome to achieve a satisfactory result for the entire unit. School attendance is also very important. Our college attendance policy at senior school is 80%. This is to ensure student work can be authenticated. At Year 11, students will receive results for their outcomes on their reports, and each assessment task will receive a letter grade. At Year 12, students must achieve a satisfactory result for each outcome to pass the unit. However, each subject also has a combination of SACs, School Assessed Coursework, SATs, School Assessed Task, and exams that enable a student to achieve a study score. Study scores are used to calculate an ATAR for tertiary studies.
VCAL, the Victorian Certificate of Applied Learning. VCAL is an alternative option to VCE. So many of our students who choose to do VCAL are thinking about pathways into employment or an apprenticeship or traineeship, or pursuing some further education at TAFE. So VCAL can be seen as a hands-on type learning where students learn skills that can be used in the workplace, and they also gain some practical skills as well. Some of our students from the past we've had go into a whole heap of different areas. From our 2018 cohort, we had one student who started off just doing some work with the council in their horticulture type department, and he's now gone on to secure an apprenticeship with them. Another student from the same cohort went on to do her diploma in nursing and has successfully completed that, and will possibly now pursue some university education in that same area. So VCAL can lead to a whole range of pathways and can be used for a whole different range of careers. The structure of VCAL is very different to VCE. Students have the opportunity to gain 2 qualifications. So there's the intermediate VCAL and the senior VCAL. And usually the intermediate's completed at year 11 and the senior is completed at year 12. For both of these qualifications, the students receive a VCAA certificate stating that they have gained that particular qualification. So the week for a VCAL student looks very different. They have 3 days at school, they have 1 day at TAFE, and they do 1 day at a work placement. We encourage students to find their own work placement. It's a really important part of the process for them to practice their skills of contacting employers and making those connections. If students are unsure of what they're thinking of doing when they leave school, we encourage them to use the opportunity of work placement to explore different careers. So they might choose 4 different work placements across the year and do 4 different types of careers across the year and maybe find what it is that they want to do, or they may choose to be with the one employer for the entire year. We do sometimes have students that are successful in gaining apprenticeships or some work from their work placement, so it can be a really positive experience for the students. The units undertaken during VCAL include literacy, numeracy, work-related skills, and personal development. All of these units are designed to help the students to develop the skills that they'll use in the workplace and beyond school. So literacy, they develop practical knowledge and practical skills relevant to reading and writing, to communication. So all of those things that are important for them to use in the workplace and beyond school, they develop and learn those skills. Numeracy, we build upon their mathematical knowledge and techniques, and they learn things like financial literacy, planning and organisation, measurement, data analysis, problem solving, and using different software tools and devices. Again, all of these things are important skills for them to take into the workplace. Work-related skills has a large focus on OH&S and developing that knowledge of how to work safely within a workplace. They also look at things like resume writing, interviews, gaining employment, and there's a big focus on doing a work-related project where the students have to put all their OH&S knowledge and use the employability skills that they have. So an example of one of these work-related projects is the current Year 12 cohort are looking at making face masks, as they see that as something that's quite relevant in the current climate. In personal development, students will again undertake projects, and a lot of these are community-based type things. So it may be things within the school, or it may be things out within the community, and also things that just developing their own skills. So in semester 1 this year, the Year 12 cohort undertook a unit about cooking. So learning about basic cooking techniques, but also putting together recipes, budgeting, and things that they can take beyond school and that will be useful for them throughout their life. VET. So vocational education and training delivered to secondary students. VET is an opportunity for students to gain a further qualification on top of their VCE or VCAL. VET programs will usually take 2 years for a student to complete. We do have some courses that only take 1 year, but they're generally a 2-year qualification. Some of the programs can receive a study score. So with these programs, students will complete scored assessments at TAFE, and they will also sit a VCE exam essentially, and then from that they will gain a study score. If you're thinking of going to university, we do recommend that you choose your vet units carefully. And the main reason for this is that you will miss Wednesdays from school. So you need to be mindful about missing that one day, that you will need to catch up on those subjects. So it is something that VCE students can consider, but it is something that if you are thinking of university, that we do encourage you to really think carefully about it. Vet is a compulsory part of VCAL, so all VCAL students will complete a vet course, and they have the choice of whatever it is that they want to choose. There are no VCAL classes on a Wednesday, which is generally when the vet courses will run. So for VCAL students, they don't need to catch up on any work. The vet providers that we tend to use are TAFE Gippsland, Community College Gippsland and Apprenticeship Group Australia. So TAFE Gippsland have campuses. Their main campuses are Morwell and Geelong, but there is also campuses in Warragul and Traralgon that some of our students will attend, and also Leongatha. Community College Gippsland have campuses in Leongatha and Warragul, and Apprenticeship Group Australia have campuses in Morwell and Curramborough, and they also run their carpentry from Kernigh College, so over in the Gap. We do have some students that attend some of the local secondary colleges that run specialist courses, and we have had students that have ventured down to Melbourne for their vet courses, particularly with Chisholm TAFE. So it's the student's responsibility to get to the vet course. We do not provide transport for this, so we often find families will ride share for the week, or parents will drop kids off at TAFE when they're going to work, those sorts of things. But it is really important to just make sure that you can actually get to your TAFE course. We do this year have a bus that has been organised by the Trade Training Centre Alliance that runs from Mirboo North to Leongatha and Curramborough to get our students over to the South Gippsland side, but it is only the local community bus, so it is limited capacity. Vet students will be required to catch up on work. So as I mentioned before, if you are doing VCE, that work you miss on a Wednesday, you will be required to catch up on that. The way your timetable will look though, because you have your vet is classed as a subject, you will actually have some study blocks within your timetable where you could catch up on that work. If you are interested in vet, you will need to express your interest during subject counselling, and there is a form this year that needs to be filled out which will be sent off to the vet providers so that they can have a look at the students who are wishing to do the vet courses. So on this screen we have some examples of the vet courses. So we have things in our traditional trade type areas like automotive, carpentry, electrical, engineering, plumbing. Bricklaying, painting and decorating. So a lot of those courses are pre-apprenticeship courses, so they're a Cert 2 level, and if you did decide, for instance, to go into automotive after you've completed that Cert 2, it would take some time off your TAFE component of your apprenticeship because they will give you recognition of prior learning, so those units will then be taken off your TAFE training. There's also courses in hospitality, so that includes front of house, so your waitressing, maitre d'-ing and all of those sorts of things, and also kitchen operations, so if a student was interested in being a chef, that's a perfect course for them. There's courses in animal studies, so there is animal studies which looks at small animals, and there's also some courses in equine, including a Cert 3 in equine and also a racing stable hand course. Early childhood education and care is another one which is very popular amongst our students, and it gives you a partial completion of a Certificate 3. There's an allied health course there. We've also got the areas of horticulture and agriculture, information technology, web and animation, and then we have our hair and beauty courses as well. Photography is one that is classed under the visual arts, and it is the only one in the Gippsland area that is under visual arts. If a student is interested in some design courses, there are some that are run out of Chisholm in Berwick, and that's always an option that we can look at. Another one listed there is Integrated Technologies, which is a really exciting course that focuses a lot on 3D printing and electronics, and all of these things are going to become quite big in the workplace, and that's one which I quite often encourage students to have a think about, particularly if they're interested in engineering and those sorts of areas. If there's a course you're thinking of that's not there, make sure that you do ask us, because it may be something that's available. It might just be that you'll need to go further afield than the local area to actually study it. Headstart. Headstart is an exciting new initiative that the Department of Education and Training introduced in 2019. So Headstart is an apprenticeship and traineeship pathway for school students, and it allows students to undertake their VCAL or VCE while starting an apprenticeship. So essentially receiving their senior schooling whilst also getting a head start on their actual apprenticeship. Employers and students are supported by Headstart coordinators over the whole apprenticeship or traineeship, meaning once you finish school, your Headstart coordinator will still follow you through that apprenticeship to make sure that everything's running smoothly. Depending on the needs of the employer, students attend school some days and work on others, and this is something that is decided on an individual basis depending on what the job is that you're actually undertaking, what the employer needs, and if you're doing VCE or VCAL. The Headstart program supports a range of qualifications, and Nicole Hobson is the Mirboo North Secondary College Headstart coordinator, and she can be contacted on the phone number and email that's shown on your screen. She's in at school during the week, usually Thursdays, but you can always come into the Senior Centre to see if she's there, and we'll point you in the right direction, or we can always send her an email and ask her to catch up with you next time she's in. So we have a video from Tom, who is the Inner Gippsland Cluster Director for Headstart, just explaining a little bit more about the program.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm the Cluster Director for Inner Gippsland Headstart program. If you're looking for a head start in your apprenticeship or traineeship, then the Headstart program's for you. We've got coordinators who are servicing secondary schools throughout the Latrobe, Bor Bor, South Gippsland and Bass Coast Shires. Headstart is a program designed to help you enter the workforce as an apprentice or trainee while you're still at school. So if you want to get cracking, there's no better place to start than Headstart. Working with years 10, 11 and 12, we match you with an employer who will provide you with on-the-job training and a fair wage. And you'll work part-time while you're still finishing your senior secondary schooling. By the time you complete your schooling, you'll be into your first and often your second year of your paid apprenticeship. To date, we have over 70 apprentices and trainees supported right across Gippsland. The Headstart program has over 35 qualifications. Qualifications include traditional trades such as carpentry, plumbing, electrical, automotive trades such as light and heavy automotive, engineering such as boiler making and fitting and turning, but also Headstart allows for traineeships within early childhood education and care, hairdressing apprenticeships, commercial cookery. There is a whole suite of different qualifications that is suitable for both male and females. One of the many benefits is the dedicated support that you get from our Headstart coordinators. Not only do they match you with an employer, but they support you all the way through your apprenticeship, not only in school, but when you exit school and transition into a full-time apprenticeship, the Headstart coordinator is there all the way.
I'm currently an light mechanical apprentice working at Haney's Diesel Repair at TAFE Gippsland. I like that I can go to work and still have a social life at school. I'm doing VCAL at Lana College. Having Amanda has really helped with a lot. When I get behind with school, I just go to her. She'll send me in the right direction. Having trouble with TAFE or work, she'll send me in the right direction.
Yeah, I've never had an apprentice. It's been good having a part-time apprentice while we've been building the business. It's great to teach a young bloke new things. Yeah, we've had him on work experience to start with and has progressed to the Headstart program.
Finish school, get qualified, earn money, all in the one program. That's Headstart. Contact your careers advisor at your local school to get in touch with one of our Headstart coordinators. Thank you.
First of all, check which units are on offer. Begin with the college's website. Underneath Senior School, you will find the Senior School Handbook. Inside that handbook, you will find a detailed description of each VCE subject, VCAL, and the VET courses that are available to you. Another great resource is the VCAA website. Again, you will find detailed descriptions of VCE, VCAL, and VET. Think about what interests you. What subjects are you good at? What jobs are you interested in? And if you are thinking about doing further tertiary studies, some of these courses require prerequisites, i.e. you must complete subjects to get an offer into that course. So be mindful of this when you are choosing your subjects and you are intending to do further study. Think about, are you interested in further study later after Year 12? Or are you interested in an apprenticeship, traineeship, or just going into the workforce? If you are thinking of further study, then VCE is the right pathway for you. If you are thinking of doing an apprenticeship or a traineeship, or just getting ready for the workforce, then VCAL would be a better pathway for you. Keep your options open. And if you wish to do VCE and you have absolutely no idea what you want to do after Year 12, which is quite normal, then keep your options open and pick a range of subjects. Make sure you do a mathematics, do a science, do a humanities, do a range of different subjects so that you keep all your options open after you've completed Year 12. Here are some common questions that we often get asked from year to year. Can I do my VCE over more than 2 years? Yes, you can. We are having more and more students who have chosen to do their VCE over 3 years, especially when they have changed their mind about what they want to do after Year 12 and have realised that they haven't done the right subjects. Can I move between VCE and VCAL? Yes, you can. You can move from VCE to VCAL. However, we highly recommend that you do this at the beginning of a year. It is much harder to do later in the year. You can move from VCAL to VCE. This is a lot more difficult as you do need to meet the outcomes of VCE subjects. This is where we would highly recommend that you complete VCAL in the year that you are doing it, and then switch over to VCE and complete it over 2 years. Should I do mathematics in years 11 and 12? Yes, you should. We highly recommend that you do mathematics. It is not compulsory. However, more and more courses become available to you if you have a minimum of English and mathematics. So we do highly recommend that you complete mathematics. Should I do German in VCE? If you have done German from years 7 to 10, then we highly recommend that you complete German in years 11 and 12. It is a great skill for future pathways, especially for work, knowing a second language. Plus, it is a subject that gets scaled highly at the end of Year 12. Can I study a unit by distance education if not offered here? Yes, you can. However, we are very mindful that distance education is a lot more difficult than being in a class at school with that support from the teacher. So we do not recommend it for every student, and we do counsel students quite carefully about whether they are able to complete a unit by distance education.
The subject selection process. Our students will come home with some information regarding some online publications that they can look at to help them with their subject selection. These will generally be links to online resources, as this year they're not really printing out many of the resources, so you will need to jump online to have a look at some of the things like the prerequisites required for courses and those sort of things. So we have subject counselling days where each student is assigned a time and they will sit down with one of the senior school team to discuss the subjects that they might want to do, the pathway that they want to take, or any other questions that they have. These days will take place for the Year 10s on Monday the 3rd of August and Thursday the 6th of August, and for the Year 11s, Tuesday the 4th of August. This year, because of COVID-19, we can't have parents on site, but we would love it if you could join us via WebEx. So on the counselling timetable, we will include the links to our WebEx rooms, and then you would just jump on at the time that your student has their counselling into the room of the person who is undertaking the counselling, and then you can be involved in the conversation. We can also be contacted via phone or email if there's any questions that you have. Even if it's after the counselling, a question comes into your mind, just give us a call or an email and we'll be able to help you out with whatever it is that you have an inquiry about. So the selection forms are due in on Friday the 14th of August. After that date, we start to have a look at which units the students are wishing to do, and from that the viability of units is decided. So some units may not run if there's not enough students wishing to do that unit. So if we only have 2 students wanting to do a certain subject, obviously it's not something viable for the college to run. We communicate that information to the students once it's available, and if they have chosen that subject, then we look at alternatives that they may be able to do. Subjects are generally released late October, all going well, and then timetables are formed and those sorts of things. But students are informed along the way, and parents as well. Step up. At the conclusion of the 2020 school year, we will start Senior School Step Up from Monday the 7th of December to Friday the 11th of December. The program is designed so that students can try out their subjects for the following year. So they can see what the subject's about, see if it's something that they're really going to enjoy, and we'll often find that students may just end up deciding that a subject they've chosen isn't exactly for them, and it gives them the opportunity to then swap into something else. It also gives staff the opportunity to give the students perhaps some reading for English or some work that they need to do over the summer break in order to be ready to start the 2021 school year.
That concludes our presentation. However, on Monday the 27th of July between 6:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m, we will be holding a live Q&A session. Web links will be sent home with students. However, if you are a new parent or family that are wishing to join our college, please contact the school on Monday and we can get that web link to you. During that Q&A session, you will have the ability to talk to our senior school team and ask them questions. During that evening, you will get to meet Miss Morena Braziz, our senior school leader, Miss Leah Underwood, our Careers Pathways leader, Miss Rose Hill, who's one of our senior school coordinators, and Mr. Alan Risley, who's also our senior school coordinator. Thank you.